Hello, occult folks, following me or stalking me or helping me or hurting me. All ya. How's everyone doing today? Even if you think you're not in a cult, you're probably in a cult. Because it's like if you just like start with the whole everybody's in a cult and then work back from that, you'll be more accurate most of the time. Anyway, so I do appreciate my helpers. They've really tolerated a lot of shit from me, and I think my solutions to problems. Some may not like it. Some totally get it. And yeah. Anyway, so like people are doing it's always the psychological warfare, but you know and I don't even want to say it because I don't want to like manifest it, but people are like like you're going in the wrong direction, and so I'm doing two things recently, and I don't think I am. Like, okay, I don't really need to participate in a proper sex party. That's some weird thing that was like abused into me, and yada yada. I'd really like like a real nice partner that I could probably finally make it work with now, since I'm not possessed. I still kind of deal with some of the echoes of the possession, but it isn't as bad as it used to be. But a lot of bad trained habits into me. People are like, you can't never be present. And it's like, okay, like most of my life, into my 40s, when you like wake up and you're kind of groggy and you're like awake but you're not quite aware. Maybe someone says like something to you and you just kind of ignore them because you just like go to the bathroom, you're on autopilot. And imagine feeling like that for like your whole life, and then sometimes coming to, and it's like, man, I thought it was like you know just before 11, and now suddenly it's way after 1. I don't know what happened, but okay, I guess that's just life, and just all sorts of, but it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough times, right? Anyway, I didn't know what all that meant until recently, too, and I've been taking a little more than 2 years to kind of like, I was like an atheist like 2.5 years ago, and now I'm like, like one, yeah, it's really mind blowing, um, and and yeah, so I don't really need the sex party thing. I always get like really nervous too. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then I'll like fucking like bail. I'm like, I don't need this. Um, I mean, I am trying to give back in some way to the community, but also, I mean, I don't feel bad about it because, like, all the people that kept me from a whole lot of money, um, I don't really feel bad about that too. So, but I am grateful for the protections I get. I understand I'm very well protected here. That is nice. I'm not worried about having to go to Ohio for a better option than what's available in Colorado, for that one thing, right? So yeah, I don't really need that. Is that the path that people don't want me to go? Because I have feeling that the meth head army gets invoked. When I'm trying to like hit up fucking Misty or something, and I'm like literally just dropping off her bag. I've even been considering lately to just like show up a little bit after the court appearance time, because then I could just sit outside the thing, and then I don't need to bother her in court, and then I could just kind of hand her bag to her. Has some good information in there, how to heal and whatnot, and that I've grown and learned a whole bunch. And I can't really shut the fuck up in this second note that I'm kind of writing up that I'm going to put in her bag for her. And I understand she was very demonic and everything, and I probably don't want that shit in my life. Like if she could be rid of herself of the thing that brings the demons in the most, which is I don't think she's too much of a drinker, but she's definitely willing to drink. But I think it's just the meth and other drugs like that. You know, is just really brings the demons in there. And then the anyone looking to pester me if I allow her near me at the low vibration. I get that. I get that. And then they're going to attach to her to try to menace me, right? Because that's a way to get to me is through these lower vibration people. I get it, but I don't feel bad about like doing it. I'm like, man, that like sex party thing and this weird fantasy that I've had ever since I was like, younger than a teen, I think. Because the community just secretly, like roofie raping Chris, periodically, in a large group or, one on one, whatever, taking photos, not taking photos, of age, not of age, right? It gets weird. But anyway, so I feel kind of like, it's like, oh man, you know, I might have to be naked with someone or something. That like weirds me out. How about I just like say sorry to Misty and return her back to her and be like, look, I was possessed, and I think I could at least give her some good information in the notes. And it's probably best that we don't, if she can't be rid of that meth shit, then but if she wants to vibrate at a higher vibration, she should have the option, and I should have the option to straighten the record and say sorry and return the bag. So I don't feel bad about any of that. It actually feels good, and it's a little harder because I have to make the effort. I have to wake up early. I have to take like the bus for like almost 3 hours, to fucking do this, and I don't feel bad about it. All right. And I don't need some weird sex party thing either. It's a nice like it's a nice want, but it's not a need. Like I feel the need to say sorry to Misty. Well, yeah, and I mean, look, I do have a right to remove people from my place, but also, I didn't see how she was being fucked with and I was being fucked with, and then that they would use, and then they'll get us all fucked up and start attacking each other. It's anyway, it's interesting. Going to write a book about it. I am going to finish that book. I am going to start it soon because man, I'm so bored and I'm so tired of these electronics and shit, and that's why I don't really like. I fuck this editing shit, and I hadn't even re-listened to this shit. I say I know a lot, or you know, I know. I say that a lot. That would probably stuff that I would clip out if I gave a fuck about editing. But yeah, I'm here to kind of bring like some harmony to the fucked up situation that space alien treaties. I really think this all boils down to here on this planet or plane of existence. Yeah, so I mean, from 5 years ago, man, I was in Colorado Springs. I was so destroyed. I just got that root canal that's like been dragging me down since I got it, right? And yeah, I've come a long way, and I do appreciate the help and patience of everyone, and tolerance even, and some forgiveness here and there. So I could lash out at the wrong people, but when you're in like a matrix like situation and agents are popping out of people left and right, you could be a little like barking at everything eventually. But I've calmed down a lot, and I do appreciate it. So yeah, shout out to my helpers. You know, I don't want to be hijacked, no thanks. But you know what? When I was hijacked and shit, I didn't really lose sight of my divine mission. That was like, let's prosecute, like war criminals. And then the Satan hijack came out, and I'm like, let's call fuck some more criminals, and I hear they do blood orgies and everything. So I guess we got some vamps that we could do that to them. I mean, I'm not going to participate, but I mean, fair is fair and everything, right? So yeah, so it wasn't really. Yeah, I didn't. I'm like, let's get BB, let's get BB, let's get that piece of shit. Let's get all the people that help facilitate that. Right, right. So even when I was hijacked, and that's a very strong characteristic because they usually get people to flip. They usually get people to flip, but my shit was like not flip. So it was a little darker, the terminology and how I spoke and everything. But I'm like, yeah, let's clean up trash in the oceans and run societies better and help out the most vulnerable and fuck the rich people. Like, I mean, not like fuck them. I mean, I guess, I mean, there's the sex kind of, and then like tax them. Fuck yeah, tax them. They want to leave, good, go. You're causing problems. You're causing too many problems. And it's all like, it's in the open, but people are unaware of it. They're like, oh, this is the best. I'm improving society. I'm making this robot that I'm going to like turn into like the Terminator later on, but we need to train it. And you're all going to train it by it living your lives pretty much for you. Like I have a dishwasher. All I got to do is put the dishes in it. All right. I don't need something to put the dishes in it. I don't need a robot to fucking do my laundry. In fact, if I had a laundry thing in here, I could fucking do my laundry just fine. I mean, I need to walk a little bit, and I need to use a smartphone to activate it, which is super annoying. So, like, the only reason why I have a smartphone is so I could do laundry in my place, and then I use it to, like, I guess, record videos. But yeah, I don't really have like a service attached to it, and I often keep it in a Faraday cage bag, and I use it for music, which I just need to get a normal music player, and then I'm not bringing my smartphone with me. And people are like, "But you got a smartphone for this shit," and I'm like, "No, I don't really, no, no, I'm not attaching my accounts to my smartphone either. I just got it for these basic purposes, laundry, and music." And I guess I could record some videos with it from time to time. My kitties. My kitty cats. That's Mr. Seymour. He Mr. Loudy McLoudsons. And she's Zoomy McZoomsons. Anyway. So yeah, my kitties. Yeah, I don't feel bad about it though. Like I feel more nervous and I get like mentally freaked out and fucked up where I'm like, I have an opportunity to do some, weird fantasy thing that's not even like that. I have like many, weird fantasies, and that's just like one of them. And it's like I don't even need to really fulfill that though. I feel strongly that it's a little harder to struggle to see Misty, even one last time, you know, again, I don't want to invite that demonic shit. I'm more aware of it. She could be willingly on Team Demon or unknowingly on Team Demon. I don't know. They like to do things, where people don't realize, what's up, right? So anyway, and I want to return her back to her because I feel good about it, and be like, yeah, sorry, and I was possessed. I got some notes in there explaining it. There's some good information in there to how to heal and how to deal with some of this stuff, and maybe she could take that moving forward. Some of this information that I've learned, I've gathered like a lot of information over the past few years. The internet is very good and it's also very bad. But I've been learning a lot. I've been getting stuck a little bit on stuff, but I'm so fucking annoyed by it. I just want to do like anything else. And then I've been recently dispossessed, and it's not like you're always groggy, like you're always like, just like waking up and like going to the bathroom and going back to bed or something like that. It's like you could be not groggy and have that state of mind too, right? So just like imagine living your whole life like that, you know. I still struggle sometimes to be present, but for the most part, it's not even a struggle. It's just like, oops, I slipped into this operating system that I'm so used to, and I don't know anything else. So then I don't, you know, do anything else. And that's like an argument that I was making earlier with all the electronic shit. Like, man, I was so Joe dirted and everything, and my parents got me electronics and sat me in front of electronics. Didn't really do anything to keep me from electronics. I guess like maybe from time to time I was grounded. Um, but yeah, learning that I've been kind of like a pain in the ass to all my actual friends and family because I was like roofie possessed by this other, you know, Jesuit witch family that was posing as Catholics or were Catholics. I don't know. The Catholic shit seems like really demonic though too. I mean, I appreciated the Marion House in Colorado Springs that did this like soup kitchen, and it was like really good food. I would just like go there, and they had really good food. Although probably the food that was supplied wasn't the healthiest. The more that I think about it, and I always ate the sweets and everything, and that shit is loaded with just bad ingredients for your body, and it fucks your body up and shit. But anyway, I mean, it was better than starving to death, I guess, is, eat a little bit of poison or starve to death, right? Uh, so, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just, yeah, like, been demonically possessed for like 4 decades, and then I got all these bad trained into me habits. Well, some bad, some not. I think, I think, masturbation could be a very good thing, and I don't think people should, lose their shit over it. That almost just seems like some more Star sexual shaming. Of course, yeah. I mean, you don't need to get into like crazy detail, but like self pleasuring. When you start doing it, then just make sure to go to the bathroom. All right, and just make talk about it. It shouldn't be so shamed because in my case, it has been such a major protection. And I can't deny it. I can't deny the major sort of protection. Yeah, they sent a lot of Erica Kirks, and in between those, they sent lovely women that would have worked well had I not been so possessed to make that not work, right? So then I could get like everyone. Oh man, it was like the days of our lives, but like the secret occult version. Right? I know. Oh man, it's so fucked up. Um, yeah, and then yeah, so I still have my handicaps or whatever. I am getting better with certain things, but there's just bad trained into me habits that I may have for life because that's how it was done. And as that chick in the Matrix said, some things change while some things never do, right? So I'm trying to make the things that change though, like I am changing my diet. I just stopped coffee a few seasons ago. Actually, I was going to say a few months ago, but like since the fall, so a couple seasons ago. I just stopped drinking coffee. I stopped buying refined sugar like a year or a few months ago, a year to a few months ago. So I was replacing that with coconut sugar when I was still doing coffee, and then I'm like, well, oh man, and then I'm like switched to tea, and yeah, I do appreciate everyone's help with everything. I really think this I'm getting a root canal removed and I'm just going to have a missing tooth. They've taken many of your guys' teeth, and I guess I got to give one of my own. So that's just the way it is. And I feel it's been like just slowly like dragging me down. And I've done like things to help with the. I got two of the shots and everything. So I've taken lots of things to help, multiple things to help, and so I still kind of got this energy drain. And then I saw that root cause documentary, and I really resonated with that what that guy was saying, and I was like, oh shit, maybe that's it, because like, I don't even think it's the apnea. I think I cured my apnea by, and they just kind of forced the CPAP machine on it. But there'd be like like one event an hour. Man, when I actually had apnea like 5 years ago, I would have like 30, 40 events an hour. One or less an hour. Which is kind of where it's been when I used to use it. It isn't anything. And actually, just a chin strap that keeps my mouth closed, so I'm not breathing through my mouth and I'm forcing it through my nose, and that will probably make it to where my nose isn't all so plugged up in the morning too, right? So I just need to get a chin strap, easy peasy, keep my mouth shut, because I still have it open when I'm sleeping and shit, right? But yeah, all right. I went to the botanic gardens yesterday. It was very lovely. I touched as many plants as I could. I felt them all up. The plant, the flowers, and trees and everything. It's nice. Because I'm still not grounded with my nicer sandals that I got going on here. Got these cork and leather sandals. Very nice. Thank you. That was nice. So, but it still has like rubber at the bottom of it. So then I'm still not grounding when I'm walking with my sandals. I was thinking about getting some like copper wire and just like wrapping it, and it may make a clinking sound or something. But yeah, I'd rather. I'm going to try it out at least. That's what I'm going to say. So I just don't feel bad about Misty. I feel like it's going to be a little harder, and that just showing up to some weird organized like sex party or something is kind of easy, and that one freaks me out. And I'm like, ah. I mean, I'm curious and everything, but it was something that was abused into me, so I have choice still in what I choose to do, and I really could use another, because I'm more powerful with another, but I don't need another. So I really don't. I really think a lot of this stuff has been mental, and it's tough getting over mental warfare when you've been warfared since you were a fucking toddler. I mean, since you were a premature baby. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like my dildos. Yeah, I know, right? You have to deal with the Satanist people. There's all these, like, big tough guys. They're like, you can't do 15 pull ups and everything. And what, man, I bet you can't squat on my dildo 15 times. And you know what's more important for them? Is probably that, because they're like the freaks, the Satanist freaks. And if you're going to negotiate with the Satanist freaks, you better be willing to take it up the ass. All right. So, and it's like the best orgasm I've ever had in my life. On top of, like, I mean, being sexually healed too, it was very helpful. Thank you. I mean, yeah, there's all these good things being sexually healed. Sorry, I don't agree, like forcing stuff on families. It seems things would be simpler and easier to deal with if you didn't force anything on any family and you just kind of let the family decide. And there you go. And that just simplifies everything, and that's also freedom, right? Freedom. So the Rothschilds are going to keep it in the family. They're the ones that, like, yeah, they practice in sexual, practices, whatever. That's not going to be you. That's not going to be me. I mean, that's not going to be most of you. That's going to be like one asshole bot in there that's like, it's totally going to be me. Whatever. All right, bot, or person that does that. Yeah, it's going to have awkward, weird situations, but like you try to make a system, it's going to get corrupted by the demons. That's why the founding fathers are like, yeah, you're going to have to like, fucking throw out the demons from time to time. Although I'm paraphrasing with that, but they're like, you have the right to revolt when your government has been captured by others. Duh. Duh, 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 don't think too hard because they, try to get you to like overthink too, which could be weaponized. They're like, yeah, everybody's serving another country and you're just, oh, because you're part of the cult. You're the Freemasons over there. You're the Knights Templars. This is the way it's supposed to go, this stupid play. You know, People got to start saying fuck the script and start laughing at Cybertrucks more. I want to see more pointing and laughing at Cybertrucks. So when they compile all their data and everything, they can see all these motherfuckers pointing and laughing at it because, they have cameras all around the vehicle, right? So, get on it, folks. Anyway, I don't feel bad about showing up to Misty. I feel it's really hard for me to sexually participate because people like secretly sexually abuse me my whole life. So, and I don't need to participate in any of the shenanigans. Me rejecting all women, that have been sent my way eventually was a major protection. Even though there was, some nice, awesome on my side with me females too that I fucked it up with. So it's all been, to kind of just protect me and keep me in the eggshell and the egg shell not cracked or anything. And yeah, and it doesn't mean I'm gonna like hook up with Misty or anything like that. Like, look, I'm fine. I'm fine with the sexual relationship I got with myself. I mean, it would be nice with another, but I need to watch it. That it's not going to be some Erica Kirk. You know, Look, I'm a model. Oh, I could touch your pee pee. I could touch it really well. I could do weird things with it. And I could get uh, child actors on fucking what is it, Stranger Things, to say Zionism is awesome after I do something freaky with this pee pee. Yeah, like you're not going to control me, and that's why a lot of people get controlled by, and that's fine, but just be self-aware of it, like by a female touching a dude's penis. All right, not that all men are like that, but there's a lot of dudes that are like that. And so being kind of asexual, although I'm like able to try with others, but I'm mostly asexual there. And well, I'm asexual and I'm willing to try with others, and there. But anyway, just thinking, about, I don't know, just think about the party thing. That's just some pleasure. That's some want. It's not a need. I feel the need to say sorry to Misty, and I hope you get your kid back. And here's your bag back. Sorry I lied about that. And yeah, I'll see ya, or maybe not. But you have a good one. And that be that, right? I got cotton mouth. No. All right, you guys have a good day. Enjoy the day.